Hello there guys and welcome to the daily updates. Yesterday we've watched the minister who has been put on special leave, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, who was answering questions from the members of parliament in the ad hoc committee into the allegations of General Mkhwanazi. They are concluding today with just 3 members to go, but from watching that, one can really conclude that we have a problem of leadership in this country. Well, if you put that problem of leadership, an answer that one can give is that we don't actually have a problem of leadership. What we have is greed. The best leaders that we have that are not in those positions are either sidelined in the cemetery, even much better, they're in the safe house hiding from those who want to kill them. Witness A, B, C from the Madlanga Commission. Those are policemen who are testifying on the allegations of this corruption in the SAPS. They are put in safe house because their lives are in danger. I just want you to listen to a small clip in relation to Witness A from the Madlanga Commission, who broke down while speaking about the attempts on his life.
I will do it again if I knew that it would make a difference in other people's lives. Even if the safe house options was not in place, I would still do it all over again. I have met the families of the victims, and and when I speak to them, they are grateful for the work that we are doing as a team. Even those families where arrests have not yet been made, they appreciate that someone is working on the case to bring justice for their loved ones. The satisfaction of knowing that I am working, I am making a difference.
Witness A, are you okay? The witness is asking for a minute.
Now, when you take the focus from Madlanga and put it on the ad hoc committee, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, you realize that he has developed chameleon traits. When those members are handing him a branch to hang himself, he would rather adapt and change and then give us a different story. I want to look at some of the stories that he has given us and also look at the fact that, is this a leader? Or has the ANC just given us the people who have escaped poverty into politics and now they cannot perform their duties? Firstly, Senzo Mchunu sent the letter of disbandment to the PKTT on the 31st of December 2024. When he's asked about the fact that why would you say with immediate effect when you know that this is not a serious matter, the man says immediate effect did not actually mean immediately on that stipulated date. It meant that when time comes, we should disband that PKTT, which doesn't really make sense because even Malema gave him an example of saying that if a car is moving and you say to your driver that stop immediately, do you mean you must stop after 10 kilometers or immediately? Which the answer was rather embarrassing because the man keeps on changing so that it can fit his narrative. The second point is that here is a minister of police, and here you have the National Police Commissioner, and on the other side you have General Mkhwanazi. There is no relationship between the three. As a minister, once you don't have a relationship with your colleagues, you are bound to fail. So instead of fixing the relationship, he continues to be part of the fight. The third one is that there was a question about the statement from Ket Matlala in jail. Senzo Mchunu wants to tell us that, well, I got the statement from Matlala, and then changes and says, well, actually, my lawyers were the ones who went and took that statement without my knowledge. When he was pressed about the fact that if indeed your lawyers went to jail to take that statement without your acknowledgement, then it means that we can report them to the LPC so that they can strike them off the road, because that is not allowed. The man decided that, like a chameleon that I am going to change that answer and now say, well, in fact, it was not the lawyers who went and took the statement without my acknowledgement. It was the lawyers of Ket Matlala who wrote to my lawyers, and my lawyers decided that they are going to respond, which really shows us that we are never going to get to the answers that we need. Another point to really look at is the fact that Senzo Mchunu comes up and says that, well, the fact that I know Mkhotsi or Mkhotsi has been calling me, it doesn't mean that we are friends. Of course, we know each other, we've been calling each other, but I don't consider him as my friend. The same way that I've been getting calls from many people, some will be asking my numbers from my wife, doesn't mean that I know those people. We know that the relationship between Mkhotsi and Senzo Mchunu is rather much more serious than we think. We just can't connect the dots. But because we cannot connect the dots, it gives him that ammunition to defend himself. He says that, well, I know the chap, but just because I know the chap as a comrade doesn't mean that me and him were together. Even that issue of Lusikisiki, it doesn't mean anything because I don't have much more details about it. The man, if he comes to me, I don't go to him. He's not my friend. I just know him as one of the people who are members of the ANC. The last two parts that I think really exposed Senzo Mchunu was that he came with a recording to say that, well, I was threatened by General Mkhwana and I can prove that. Unfortunately, the man couldn't prove it. You know why? Because there was never a recording of him being threatened. I believe that Cedric Nkabinde decided to fool this man. The man called the minister to lie to him and say, well, you were threatened, and that is on the tape. It is at the 1 minute mark. They played the 1 minute. There was never any threat. And they went back on Friday. They went back home to say that let us come back on Tuesday and provide that minute where I'm being threatened. Oh boy, did they come back. But there was never that threat. You can't say he doesn't know about gadgets. He knows exactly what's going on because he can go from WhatsApp to a certain messaging app so that the conversations cannot be traced. This man knows about it. But why would you not know about the fact that there is no threat in that recording? He exposed himself on that matter. The last matter was of a former councillor, Xolile Nkompela, who Senzo Mchunu comes with a document saying that he was one of the people who got killed in 2021 local elections. Well, it was rather surprising and embarrassing when they told him that that person which you say that he was killed is still alive. And you are carrying a document that says someone was killed, but the same person is alive and a member of the ANC. He was embarrassed, but it says a lot about himself. Are you a leader, or are you just a leader who hears from people and report it as facts? I started by saying we have an issue with leadership in this country. But the problem of leadership is not because there are no leaders. We have so many leaders. The problem is a movement which gives us those leaders. They pick themselves because Batabile Dlamini is one of the people who told us that they was together. There are more skeletons than we think. So if they have skeletons, they are going to put each other on those spaces. It is for the South Africans to decide, do they want the same leaders or do they want the best of the best? My question was about the leadership, but it goes further to the question of, is Senzo Mchunu going to retain his seat as a minister of police? What would be the future of this person who has been given a chance to explain, and he has done that? Well, I think the president is going to remove him. Let us put it plain and simple. He's going to fire Senzo Mchunu from that position. Senzo will remain a member of the ANC. Senzo will continue to campaign. They are going to give him 3 more years, and after those 3 years, if the ANC goes to the 2029 elections and wins, he's going to get back to the cabinet of whoever president that we have. The simple reason is that they cannot afford to fire each other. They know more about each other. The best thing they can do is to protect each other so that whatever happens, the secret never comes out. Don't be surprised when they say you are fired, but you are not going to jail. You'll remain a member of the ANC. Even the ANC disciplinary committee will not say, well, move aside. The step aside policy will not come into effect because they are going to say the man has not been found guilty and charged. That is what you get in the country that we live in, because instead of accountability, most of us are going to stay at safe houses. How many more safe houses are we going to have? Because in the end, we are all going to be sought after. They want to silence those who think they can expose them. cry the beloved country. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into the channel, and please do subscribe and become a member if you can. Until next time. Cheers.